Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
You've got goals for your small business. That's why now's the time to level up your marketing with Constant Contact. With powerful tools to find and connect with new customers, manage your social posts and events, and send automated emails and texts, you'll stand out, stay top of mind, and see results fast. Constant Contact's cutting-edge technology makes marketing easy so you can focus on running your business. Start achieving your small business goals with a free trial at ConstantContact.com today.
BooBaes.
BooBaes. Hi,
Hi, hello.
it's
Welcome.
me,
It's me,
It's-
Caitlin.
Joshua, and we
we're-
are here.
And we're your BooBaes.
We're your BooBaes.
That's right. We're here to talk all the horror, spooktacular things that you would want to hear.
Yeah.
Or-
We're talking about some scary movies, guys.
yeah.
We're talking about some horror.
Horror.
We put the horror in horror.
We do.
We do. And we're ready to just give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're going to be talking about The Medium.
Yes, The Medium. It is a Shudder exclusive. This is
Yes.
rounding out our last week of the month of Shudder that we're
Mhm.
doing.
Shout out to
And-
Shudder.
This is a film that I chose. Very long.
Very long. So
This-
make sure if you do watch it, you cut some time out of your day or like at night time or something like that.
Yes, this director has a tendency to go kind of long.
On the longer side.
This director also directed a film called The Wailing, which is one that Andrew personally had like shown me, and he was like, "This one is fucking weird."
Mm-hmm.
He said that
It's
he
right up your alley.
he had seen it whenever he was in, like, he saw it with his dad, and neither him nor his dad knew that it was a
Like
horror film.
Horror, okay.
Yeah.
The
They just
Wailing,
thought
though.
maybe like, I know, they maybe thought like it was
Aw.
just kind of like,
That's cute of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so then they went there, and Andrew said he left afterwards and was like, what the fuck?
Oh, I can
like,
hear him.
Dad, what the hell?
That's funny. The Wailing, though, I'll have to check it out. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I've seen half of it, but again, because it's very long. It's a very long film. It has higher ratings than this one did. I personally really enjoyed this film. But the director's Bonjong
Yeah, I'm trying to
Piss-
see how you would.
Pisanthanakun?
Yeah.
That's a Pisanthanakun. I don't know.
We apologize if we butcher it.
Yes.
But we mean well. Shout out to Ben Jong and the direction of the movie. And it was produced by Na Hong Jin.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's a Thai movie. And did we mention that already?
I
know
don't
if-
think so,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. So it's a Thai movie. So be ready to be paying attention to the subtitles, especially for this film. I felt like any time that I kind of looked away to write on my notes or something, I was like, oh, I missed something. So I had
Yes.
to like go
Rewind
back.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's also interesting because The Wailing is a Korean film. And so this, and like even right here, it says first Korean trailer, The Medium. And so I believe at least one of the producers or directors is Korean.
Well, do we know what is I think it's the production.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, okay. I see what it is. It is a co-production. So it was co-produced with another production company, GDH55 something, and this South Korea one called Showbox. So that's why.
Showbox had such a fun entrance. I was like, wow, this is freaking happy.
Was it the one with the... No, that was the other one. That was the GDH.
Really, all of them were very like...
It just kind of threw me off that the one with the little spinner was making like a rattlesnake sound.
Oh. I wasn't paying that much attention. I just thought both of them looked rather like excitable.
Yeah, instead of a horror, like how Blumhouse has theirs.
Yeah. And
is it Blumhouse? I always say Blumhouse.
Oh, I've always said Blumhouse because
it might be Blumhouse. You're right. It's probably Blumhouse.
But
just spelled with the U.
Yeah.
Because I think the U.
Well, like in German, it would be
Blumhouse.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I won't act like I know
House would
German.
be HAUS, but that it kind of gives me. I just have always said that. I don't know.
I'm gonna go with that.
But then also, what's the other one? Lionsgate. Lionsgate has a very ominous feel as well. You know.
That's the way I don't remember that one right now.
That one's like big block letters, and then it's got those like dark clouds behind it, and typically like a red, almost is backing the Lionsgate. I don't know, but yeah, very ominous and feel. And then this one was like, woohoo! It felt like almost Pixar.
Yeah, it didn't seem like you were going into a horror movie.
It didn't. So maybe that's why they thought that it was going to be not horror when they watched The Wailing.
But through and through, I mean, the movie is like super like horror. Like it is a horror film.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
There is a lot going on in it. There are a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
I think, there is a lot of ideas. And yeah, it starts off with it's a mockumentary style, so we kind of get like the introduction of it being.
Sorry, I'm just reading more about it. I didn't know.
Oh,
it was theatrically released in South Korea on July 14th, 2021. But it was selected as the Thai entry for the best international feature film at the 94th Academy Awards. It ended up not being nominated,
but it was still entered.
It was still entered, which I thought was. I think that's pretty cool. And then it was also. The film was adjudged, I don't know what that word is, as the best feature film at the 25th Bucheon International Fantastic Film Festival and was awarded with the Bucheon, I don't know if that's right, Choice Award for the best film. So it did win some awards.
That's awesome.
And
Good
it is the 6th highest grossing Korean film of 2021. So that's kind of cool.
That's crazy.
It ranked 15. Oh, sorry. There's just so many facts.
Yeah.
On the box office front, as per Korean Film Council data, it is ranked 15th among all the films released in the year 2021 in South Korea, with a gross of $7.35 million and 831,126 admissions as of September 26, 2021. That's cool.
Fun little facts about the medium.
Anyways, yes.
Keeping track of admissions. That's crazy.
I know.
That's a lot.
That is.
That seems like a hassle.
I mean, I guess that is just like ticket sales, though.
Right. I guess that's what that means.
Just a weird
way to say it. But I guess, you're right. It's the same thing.
Typically, whenever we see ticket sales, so we just, box office, we just see like the
numbers,
amount
the figure,
the
not
money.
how many tickets.
Yeah, not how many tickets.
Exactly. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Because then, I mean, really, some theaters are $5 to $9, and then some are $15. I've paid $30 to watch a movie before in some of the really fancy theaters. So it's like, I wonder at what point, if a certain amount is allocated to each film throughout, no matter where it's sold, or I don't know. That's too many politics.
There was a movie I watched in some theater like a year ago and a year and a half ago. Probably early like April-ish. No, that's not even a year. Well, I don't even know. But yes, I think I was watching. I don't even know what I was watching. I can't remember. But it was in Austin. It was an Austin theater, and it's the way I didn't know that this was like a really swanky theater. And so when I walked up in it, and the ticket was like $20-something bucks. One, it's already in Austin, but still, it was like, when I walked in, the seats were
is
like.
Is it the one in the Domain?
No, I don't think so.
Is it called like It's or something? iPick is what I'm thinking of.
I don't remember, but the seats were like. Way nicer than the Cinemark here, and I think those are nice.
Yeah, no, I've been in one where they provide like a pillow and a blanket, and then also like a free popcorn thing. And I'm just like, if you give me a pillow and a blanket and a reclining chair, I am gonna fall asleep.
Old man style.
Yeah, so you're just
Grandpa
paying
style.
$30 to
To
fall asleep is basically what it is.
It's a pure atmospheric experience.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Anyways.
we get into the movie. We start off with it very much you would feel familiar to like a documentary and how you get introduced to a character. In this case it is Nim. And she is talking and opening what the movie is kind of trying to, what the documentary is supposed to be about, which is shamanism and her family line of shamans and
how it can be ancestral and stuff. And then they're also talking about how basically the people of the Isan region believed that their spirituality goes like way before religion ever came and stuff there, and they believe in spirits and ghosts and have
there's so many
for so long, and how literally everything goes beyond nature, like spirits and absolutely everything, houses, mountains, trees, rice fields, and of course all living creatures like dogs, cats, and centipedes and stuff like that, which I feel like definitely comes into play at the end. So I think that's notable.
It's definitely giving very colors of the wind. Right?
Yeah.
Like to Disneyfy it, which, oh God, I can't believe I just did that. But that's what it was given to me. Like we're all connected, full circle. Yeah, for sure.
Circle of life.
We're all connected to a higher power, basically. And so they're kind of asking her about like her role in what she plays as being the shaman, and she's talking, and they're kind of you're also, as she's getting like what is that called, confessional style, the confessional style of her talking about it. You're also getting like footage of her actually practicing with people coming into like the church place of worship or whatever that would be,
coming to the altar
that she has set up in a home or adjacent to her home. And I really liked, well, one, I was kind of shocked whenever the wife was like, the dude made alcohol out of the snake.
Yes. Okay. So that's actually kind of a common thing.
Really? I don't know about that. So I was like, how does one even do that?
Yeah.
Or what?
I think it's somehow that you use like the venom and stuff from it.
And like you mix it with alcohol already and it like adds flavor. Is that what's going on?
Something I don't know. I've always seen it as a way that. So
I know that there's like in Mexico that people put like snakes, but like already in alcohol, not like I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the the
like
scorpion and stuff in there.
It.
Like the stuff that's okay.
Yeah.
But anyways,
because I've seen like scorpion shots and stuff before. Yeah. Those are definitely a thing. I would never personally. That sounds terrifying. But so what I've seen it in is not the most official thing. I've seen it in a lot of my webtoons, honestly. Okay. Ones that have to deal with shamans, actually, is where I've seen it, and where it's in with spirits and stuff like that. And typically it is not a good thing, and it is caused the person to get more
sick or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
or like almost possessed, like that sometimes like that the spirit within the snake is what comes in, and that's basically what comes into play here. She's like, well, where did you find this snake? And he was like, in the cemetery. Yeah. And she was like, well, that's your fucking that's your problem.
Yeah. Not only is it a dead snake, it's a snake from the cemetery.
Yeah. You just drank this snake's soul, spirit.
And so where it was to kind of didn't help to that. So.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so I don't know if that is. It's just I've seen it in.
I thought it was super interesting. It really caught me off guard.
Before.
Yeah.
It was fucking creepy in that.
Yeah, in the jar, the huge jar. It was a huge snake too.
Gross. It was.
It looked like it looked like that. It looked like the things that are like whenever you dissect animals and it's what are they on, formaldehyde?
Formaldehyde.
Animals.
Yeah, like when people have basically preserved pickled jars of like pig heads and babies, sharks. Yeah. Well, babies are a thing that people, especially like infant pigs and stuff.
Yeah.
That's baby animals are all the time.
I remember my 7th grade science teacher had like jars of them lined up in their classroom of like, sharks, frogs, a little octopus, I think was in there. All kinds of fish. Yeah. Interesting. Gross. Interesting. But yeah, we have all of that going on. We're kind of getting introduced to her. It's kind of a really long intro, to be honest. I was like, okay, this is going on for a while.
A lot of this film is, it has to get to 2 hours.
A lot of this film is Nim walking into the shot.
Yes. Yeah. So very much it kind of reminded me of Ringu and stuff with these like longer shots that were just basically allowing you to kind of soak in the scenery and stuff. And that is what, hold on, please. Josh is opening his birthday card.
Wow. I had to. I'm sorry. That is the
Go
most
for it.
perfect card
Isn't
I've ever
it?
seen in my life.
I was like, he
I'm
needs
just going to
this.
go like this.
Do it.
Oh, okay. Actually, how long it is. I
It's
will
long.
read it up. I'll read it after. Anyway, sorry, guys. Interjection. I wish y'all could only see the birthday card I just got from
Oh, we can always
Caitlin.
take a
It
picture.
is so cute.
We'll take a picture of you with it.
That is literally... I can't wait to show this to Robert. He's going to
Yay.
be like, oh my God, that is the most perfect card for you. Okay, anyway. So
I'm
yeah,
glad you love it.
so it reminded you of the Ringu and how the long shots
Yeah.
were... Mhm.
There's a lot of scenes in this where it's almost, and then also kind of like Atlantics,
Yeah.
where it's a lot of just like longer shots of maybe not necessarily
People-ish. And then like also too, even when they were in
just
frame,
very
kind of,
aesthetic.
yeah, more ambiance. I don't even know. Ambietic. I'm gonna make up that word right now.
Ambietic.
It's
I
ambietic.
like it.
Yeah, and it really is more kind of like because I guess that's the documentary kind of style of it. You know, because it makes you feel like you're sitting and watching someone's life.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I definitely got
'Cause-
from the beginning of this film
Yeah,
is and why it's so slow, which is again is like also how I feel
It's very taken to Deborah
taking
Logan.
Deborah Logan. Yeah. Where it is just such a slow burn at the beginning because I mean
It's setting
it
everything
wasn't
up.
it wasn't intended to be a horror
What
thing.
it was about. Yeah.
It was just solely they were studying for
Yeah.
taking of Deborah Logan. It was dementia or Alzheimer's, and then for this they were just studying
Shamanism,
and then
then-
both cases they ended up with possession.
Yeah.
Basically. And I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but so the shaman, our shaman that we're following, Nim, is possessed by the goddess
I wrote it,
Bayan.
Bayan. Yeah.
Bayan. And there's that process in which the ancestral, like everything is passed down is called Ma'atiam. And that is basically the possessing. So they are
Essentially getting possessed by a
possessed.
good spirit. And it's like, as you were saying, like from family to family member, typically, usually.
and they are the mouth. They are the like
The vessel
yeah.
for which the spirit can communicate with the people around them and perform miracles and healing and give advice, I guess, basically.
Mouth of God.
And
The
so
goddess.
we're getting all of this information. We're getting to meet Nim and kind of getting a good foundation of the shamanism and what the movie is supposed to set up. And then after we get that introduction, we finally get like a title of like the medium, right? And then after that, we get explained that she's going to her funeral. Her brother-in-law, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Noi, she has a family,
Yes.
which had 3 siblings, she's the youngest, but she has an oldest brother. And then,
Manit.
repeat his name? Manit, yes.
I believe.
And then she
Manit?
has Manit probably.
M-A-N-I-T.
It's the way I don't ever really necessarily remember them saying it out loud necessarily.
Yeah, they would.
It was just like
but it was so fast.
yeah.
Or it could have been a
nickname or something
like
or
in Korean when they use like older brother and stuff.
that's true.
So it could have been that situation.
And so we have him. We have an older sister named Noi.
Noi, I think is what it is.
Noi.
N-O-I. Yeah.
And so Noi's husband passed away, and we also get explained in this moment that prior to that, a year earlier, her son had passed away in what quote unquote a motorcycle accident, which we later understand is not what actually happened.
Exactly. And that all the men die under like pretty bad circumstances. And we've also the ancestral like the goddess Bayan tends to only inherit or like
Go into women.
Yes, into women. And so then it is interesting also that all the men are the ones kind of dying around them.
Yeah.
And so
And maybe that also has to tie in later on. We get a question from the other shaman dude that's friends with Nim about, he was asking, what about your husband's ancestry? So maybe that could also tie in with something with his ancestry.
Which I feel like it definitely does.
Like maybe
towards
the
the
men
end.
die young, kind of thing. Or brutally at least. I don't know.
Yeah, because they were cursed. And they had said like his grandfather before him was stoned to death or something like that. And it was all going but basically, all the men in this family died pretty awful deaths. Not necessarily mysterious, but just kind of tragic.
Just before their time. Like, you know.
Yeah, they're not just dying in their sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we have the funeral situation coming on. I love how when she gets there, and I was like, oh, this is so real for so many people. The brother is like, oh, come into the funeral. I guess it takes people to die for you to come to your family. You forgot about us, kind of thing. I'm like, just stop bitching around. She showed up.
She even at one point is like, are you gonna stop nagging?
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking here, so
literally
lay off.
Yeah, there's a reason why I don't show up. Basically, is kind of the vibes
because of this exact reason.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, and already, I mean, you learn later throughout the movie within like the little family, and I guess because centered around the shamanism, like and not everybody likes it or agrees with it or maybe feels indifferent towards it, but like it's definitely has throughout the years caused
tension
within the family. Yeah, kind of any family dynamic will naturally have that, but this is their root of that.
Exactly. And so basically, as they're going throughout the funeral process, which is rather interesting, the few times we get funerals here.
Bro, whenever they is it already happened? Hold on.
Oh, with the fun little fireworks?
Yes, I don't think it happened just yet.
It hasn't, but it was cool.
Oh, I thought it was hilarious. I busted out laughing because I'm like, wait, how? Like the way that's orchestrated.
I don't know how it got in there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, did they do this like 10 times? Like, what if like they miss and like catches the body on fire?
Because I was just imagining a bottle rocket.
Yeah.
Like, pew!
Like, it was so.
Because it looked like a firework, not a flaming arrow.
And it made a eagle noise.
Yeah.
Like as it was going down.
I can't make an
it
eagle
was
noise.
funny. Sorry. Anyways, that's not it. Sorry, you got to your guys' ears if you have headphones on right now.
I love it.
But yeah, we're kind of getting introduced. This is where Nim's kind of talking to us what I just told you about the family members, who's all in the family. We also get to learn that Mink is Noi's daughter.
Yes.
And we see her,
Even from the first interaction, you can tell.
Yeah. Something's off with her.
Yeah, my notes go, Mink is a niece. She's possessed.
Yeah. Because
whenever she touches Nim's shoulder or arm to hand her something.
It's like she feels a spirit or something. She gets
she kind of recoils and it's like almost as if like her touch was hot.
Yeah.
Or something. And she's basically like,
Burn
what
the demon.
the fuck? Like,
yeah.
What the hell? That's not a normal interaction we just had.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure her being a shaman, like, and being more in tune and enlightened with her spiritual side, like, gives her a sense of, like, she can read auras or something.
Yeah. She's definitely more in tune with it and is probably more perceptive than any of the other people surrounding her. And so we see it there. And then again, as they're going on later
through the night,
Mink has a rather they're like playing board games and
it's
drinking.
Something weird. I guess they're having kind of like a family communal moment. They're all, I guess, trying to hang out and vibe, but they're all drinking, I guess, as some do when people die. Pour one out for the homies. And so we have her then kind of they're in a circle and she starts yelling at the dude across from her because she's like, what did you call me, what did you say? And then he called her a whore or something like that. Is
what she at least claims. We never hear
we didn't hear it, and it's the way that I don't think it didn't happen because she was hearing a spirit or something else or a demon say it. I don't know, or the demon was acting out from her. But we have that situation, and she literally lunges for him and starts attacking him. And I love how they're all trying to break it up, and she's like that person in like a schoolyard fight that's like bucking up, like still like
she's like, let me at.
Literally, she comes at him a few times. They had to pull her back.
They've got her by
so many times.
Arms around the waist, like pulling her, and she's got both like legs and arms out in front of her trying to get this man like just thrashing.
Literally.
Yeah. She was not fucking around.
And so so we have that whole situation happen. They kind of pull apart, and then we kind of get a little moment between like I think it's the sister-in-law and Nim. And she's asking, like, does she drink a lot? And then the sister-in-law is like, I mean, she drinks, but like
she's never had an outburst.
An outburst like that. Yeah. And so that happens, and then as Nim is going back into like her area where they're all going to sleep, kind of in the same room too. She sees Mink staring kind of off, like blankly, and then she's like trying to call her name, but she's not responding to her. And then we see that she's staring at some old lady.
Yeah. Who's just standing there looking at her too.
Is she blind?
She's blind,
because she had the like whites in her eyes, and so
At first, I wasn't sure if like it was a possessed woman, but they do say the blind old lady who lived next door died. Yeah, is what they say.
Yeah,
once she passes. So I was like, okay, she is blind.
Yeah.
But she's just sitting there. The old lady's just staring, and then she walks off, and it's like,
And then they just kind of end up going to bed, I guess.
Yeah, because then
just-
it basically flashes to the next
next day.
morning,
Mhm.
and we see that the old lady who was blind, who lived next door, had died.
Yeah.
Basically, Nim comes out, and she's like, "What's all this hullabaloo? Like, what's going on here?" And that's what. So, and then
I just
basically,
put Mink is weird.
yeah, I put Nim sees Mink and basically knows something's off. Like,
Yeah, because they're all outside. That's whenever they light the
oh yeah,
the little ceremonial
firework to light the body up.
Yeah, they light it up, and then they all have their little umbrellas out there, and yeah, she's staring at her like something's going on.
Oh, I put, damn, they just throw out candy at funerals here? It's like pinatas,
Yeah.
but they were just throwing it out.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was like candy as the body was like burning or whatever.
Writing notes at that.
Burning was behind it. They were just throwing candy, and people were
Picking it
going
up.
down to the ground, picking it up. And I was like,
Gotta love your
weird.
funeral parades.
that's like interesting.
That's a procession right there.
It's a more exciting funeral.
Yeah. I'll take notes. Hopefully y'all throw candy at my funeral.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we have that whole shit happening, and we have then I guess we have the camera crew then interviewing Mink, right? After all of the funeral and everything starts happening.
So first, Nim goes to the house though, and is like, "Yeah, something's wrong with Mink." And goes into the
Oh,
house
that's
and is
right.
searching her belongings.
And she finds that turmeric.
Turmeric.
There we go.
And which I've
For them means something. It's a word off the spirits. evil
called
spirits.
Pataba,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to protect from evil spirits. Yeah, it basically kind of looked like a dream catcher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
It looked
weird,
like a dream catcher with like a bunch of sages like tied to it.
Yeah, like a dream catcher made of sage
Yeah.
or something.
It's very intricate. It's very long. It looked like basically
It was large.
Like I would, if I ever went back to high school and it was homecoming week, I would make that for my mom.
Oh yes,
It looked like a mum.
mum size.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Because it was like fucking long and everything. I'm
It
like,
was. It took up a large portion of her closet.
The way I was like so gay that like I'm like, I can't wait to make a mum, and then like my sisters are like, those are for girls, and I'm like, okay,
no,
but
it's not.
I'm
You can wear mum too.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, because the girls would have the long ones and guys wouldn't have mums. They were like
the little-
garters.
yeah.
They were garters. Yeah. So it was different, but yeah.
Fucking
Which
wear one
also
anyways.
makes no sense to me because then it like in weddings, women wear garters and on the leg. Anyways, freaking stupid stereotypical or not.
We hate 'em.
Or,
And also, mums
norms,
are really
whatever
only
they're
a
called.
thing here in Texas.
Oh, really?
A lot of
we're
or
so
like southern
annoying.
things. Yeah.
We're so annoying.
They're-
God damn it.
Other
Us
places do like
Texans.
overalls and stuff, which now people are doing here too. But
Overalls?
yeah,
What do you
where
mean?
you just like decorate overalls and like paint and shit. I don't know. It looks pretty tacky in my opinion.
It
but-
sounds tacky.
Yeah.
Anything, I mean,
All of it is tacky.
yeah, it's true. Okay, us and our Texas traditions. All right. So yeah, we have like you said, they found the turmeric, and that's whenever Nim is kind of asking the mom, like, don't you know what this is for? Like, whatever. And you can definitely tell that Miss Noy does not want to like confront this problem at all. Like, she's trying to brush it under the rug. She's like, that is my daughter. Don't you worry about it. I will.
And I believe in a Christian God.
Yes.
And so, like, this has nothing to do with us. Is basically kind of the vibe she gives. I feel like. But yes, now they are interviewing her, and this whole interview is comical.
Yeah,
She's funny.
She's pretty funny, and then also
She's
too,
mocking them.
she is, and then she's also like talking about like I can speak in tongues too. That was the most hilarious
I
thing
love
I've
that.
ever seen in my life.
Because that's exactly how I feel about people who speak in tongues.
And just the way she did it, I was like,
Just-
this is the most demonic sounding tongues I've ever heard in my life. Maybe it's just not to like be rude or anything, the culture and the language of how it's spoken, because every tongues is different. Like it's different for different languages, of course,
Yeah.
and customer and cultures. But I was like, this don't sound like tongues. This sounds like straight out of like a demonic ASMR.
I mean, it actually did sound like a language. While I feel like a lot of tongues here just sounds like mumbling.
Yeah, I could
And
see
it's
that.
just like blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're just literally saying syllables, but whatever.
It's the whole spirit. Girl, it's moving. It's working. It's working in me right now.
It is.
Anyways, I should probably stop. Someone's calling blasphemy.
Yeah.
because people call into this podcast.
They do.
And so
I would just like to say,
I was really offended by the way that you were talking about speaking in tongues as an ordained Pentecostal
SpongeBob.
You literally. Okay, I need to stop. All right, so let's stop. Okay, so yeah, we have all that shit happening. She's making fun of it, like you said, of all of it, and kind of like their whole reason of why they're making the documentary.
Yeah.
And
saying it's a bunch of just phooey.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. And then, but yeah, then they switch over to Noi. And basically Noi is explaining what the shaman fever is basically what they call it.
Oh, yeah, I remember this part.
And it's like, she said that she had her period for 5 months.
Every day. It would start.
Every day
like,
for 5 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
Girl, talk about a heavy flow.
I put yikes. And then because of this and everything, how she did not want it, like we said earlier, she then turned to Christianity and kind of renounced all of this.
The culture and like shamanism, and basically she said she prayed so hard that it all kind of went away and she was saved. Which, you know, to each their own. Placebo effects are real. And so yeah,
then the spirit took hold of Nim, basically, or decided to go to that option.
To the next. And that's when I was like, girl, how does this work? This Bayasan spirit is just like, okay, you ain't gonna do it. All right, I'll just hop over here. Like, how does that even like...
You feel it should be like a destined thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, this is too easy.
Yeah.
That, okay, you really aren't that important then, or that special.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have that. And then that's whenever they kind of ask her, what if this is happening to Meek, or what if it does happen to Meek? And then the way she dismissed it, she's like, if you're gonna ask stupid questions, you can stop filming.
That's right.
I'm like, oh God, like she is defensive about this topic.
First off, Noi's actress,
she was a good actress,
was phenomenal.
Yeah, she was very good.
Sarani Yan Kitikan.
She was beautiful.
She was.
I thought she was beautiful.
But yeah, she
like
fucking
in like, not like she was a supermodel or anything, but like in just like such
just
naturally
very beautiful
woman.
Proportions, everything was really.
Her face to me was what was like really striking. I was like, well, why does her face look so like perfectly not perfect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she was gorgeous.
And yeah, so it's a great actress, like you said. And
there were several times where I was like, damn, Noi is killing it.
And so yeah, and so stupid questions. Okay, then after this we have isn't it Mink's friend and her hanging out, or they're interviewing Mink's friend?
So yeah, they switched to some sort of preparation for a parade, and basically, but Lisa, Mink's best friend, comes up during this time, and we see that Mink has like decided to put on these baby shoes and like puts them on the fronts of her feet and is kind of just like standing there looking giddy, and it was just fucking weird. I was like, ooh, I don't like that. And then they interview Lisa, and they ask, has Mink
been weird lately? Is she showing any signs of doing something unusual? Yeah. And
she says, not really, other than sometimes she just acts like a little kid. And she says it feels very fake, but she's not there. Not like it's not her. She's not being.
She's there, but she's not there.
Yeah.
Like it's, you know, she's her body's obviously present, but she's totally different. She doesn't respond back and like, oh, I am Mink. She is someone else. Literally, it's giving very almost like DID, like dissociative identity disorder. And so we have then the production crew filming her. Being basically she's in like a little imagine like the McDonald's children's play area with like the ball pit kind of thing. She's in one of those things.
Little slide.
Yeah. And she's playing with these kids, and she's very acting childlike. And I swear, Caitlin, I rewound this so many times because I obviously thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
so funny.
She eats those little kids.
She literally has this little girl walking right by her, and she literally yeets her.
Takes her body and is like, nah.
I made it into a GIF because I'm like, look at how fucking hilarious that is. She pushes her. And it's the way, too, that I'm like, wait, did they, like, even tell these little actors, like, this was going to happen? Because they looked, honestly, either that or they're acting for their lives. Like, they're going to get an ice cream after this or something. That's what their parents promised them. Because they were so caught off guard looking to me. And, like, really like, oh, like
I feel like they maybe didn't just let her just be like,
do what you want, and the parents were just like, that's fine, we're gonna get paid for it.
She did a phenomenal job doing that too, because the way that her face would like go to that like pout,
scrunch up and then smile.
I was like, woo, she is flipping hot and cold. And then
good actress.
I feel like when I was like, or if you watch kids on a playground, when one does get upset like that, they do exactly that. They'll smush
That's
up their
true.
face and then.
And very quickly
Like,
too,
I don't
kids
wanna
are
do this.
and very quickly too, kids switch from like I'm mad and this, and then I'm like, you
Yeah.
know, they do that, yeah,
Because their
so that's
attention span is so short.
like a goldfish,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And so yeah, it's just hilarious. If anything, if you don't watch the movie, at least just like watch it for that. Fast forward to, I should have gave you the timestamp, but it's hilarious. And so she does it to 2 kids. Yeah, and so
It happens multiple times, and I'm like, why is no one pulling her out of the slide?
Same. I was like,
being a
whoa,
bully.
why is nobody like calling?
She's a grown-ass
Even the way the
adult.
friend is just like, stop it. Why are you doing that?
And then
Stop
she's
it.
like,
and I'm like, why don't you go in there and grab her? But
Mm-hmm.
okay. Yeah. So that's happening. We're getting to kind of see more of her weird behavior. So yeah. And then we have, I think I skipped on my notes here a little bit because I was into it, but they go to a bar or something, right? Or there's a,
yeah, they go to a bar, and basically, I mean, they just get fucked up, and then Mink is like, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
And so then she leaves, and she's like telling the camera crew, don't film me, like I'm a mess right now. And then she goes to her workplace
Yeah. Which was,
and just like passes out.
yes. Mhm.
So
So what we see, she passes out. Yeah.
This time I think she does.
Probably.
She goes to bed.
Yeah.
But
s-
apparently I was like, why would she go to her workplace to sleep? And
And
then
we
it's
see
like,
some other reasons why.
yeah, later on. It's the fucking way that whenever they come in the morning, they're just like, what are you doing here? Go wash your face and get to work.
Literally, I'm like,
like-
there's no other question of like, what the fuck are you doing here? How did you get in? Like, what are you? What? Yeah, they literally are just like
Wash
wash
your
up
face
and
and
go
get
to
to work.
work.
I was like, damn, okay.
the way everybody's like not even bothered by her sitting there
Until
like,
she stands up, and then there's a fuck ton of blood coming from her
cooter
vaginal
hole
area.
Yes, like I put the blood came out of her cooter hole.
It was a lot.
That was a lot
It
of
was
blood.
a good amount. I was just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, and so she's kind of like freaking out, obviously, and she runs to the restroom.
And
the
she clearly looks sick.
Yeah, and she's trying to like take care of herself, and it's the way that the camera crew is like still filming her. And I love how when she turns around and sees him at the window through like the crack in the door, like he's like audibly like and like goes back. I'm like, obviously, if you feel like that, you probably shouldn't have been recording in the
Yeah.
first place.
It was caught
yeah,
red-handed being a weirdo.
literally.
Don't film a lady in the bathroom.
Yeah, I just like if anything.
Don't
yeah.
film anyone in the bathroom.
Yeah. And this is at that point I kind of like asked myself this question. Like it gives very like I get it's a documentary, but I think even in documentaries, like you don't. Someone would stop filming because that's like obviously
an invasion of privacy.
or a HIPAA. I don't know what it is. But
Yeah.
like recording laws, but also it's a horror movie and we're just like getting the full thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only way to explain that would have been for them to like break the fourth wall, and that wasn't gonna happen.
No.
Yeah. And so yeah, we have that poor scene of the blood coming out of her vagina, and I'm sure that wasn't fun. And that's whenever we have her. It also I don't remember. Wait.
I think Noi base. It's either
Oh yeah.
Noi or Nim. Someone goes and they're basically trying to find Manit, and they find him and he's out with younger girls. It was Noi.
Yeah.
She goes and he's like out partying with younger girls,
Yeah.
and she's like, do you not even care
About
about
your
your
family.
wife
Yeah,
and your
yeah.
baby at home? And then is basically telling him like something is wrong. Something's wrong with Mink. She's not okay.
Being normal. Yeah.
And we need to talk about this
Mhm.
basically, and gets him home, and then it flashes to Mink like on the truck thing.
Yeah, she's on like a public transportation is what
Yeah.
I figured that is what their version of that is, like a bus. Not it honestly looks like a pedal tour thing.
Yeah.
But it's like they're
It reminds me of the back of like a surplus van, like an army van, like when all in like all the army movies where they're
Yeah.
riding on that little bench and stuff.
and so they're in this, I guess she's trying to get home, I'm not sure. And then she kind of like what happened earlier when she was with their family and they were playing cards or whatever in the circle, she flips out on the lady in front of her and just slaps the fuck out of her.
does.
And then is like just going off on her basically because for some other reason too, like she feels like she was saying something to her or about her, and then it's the way they all kind of kick her off.
Yeah.
And then we get this kind of like not montage, but kind of like she's stumbling home, but ends up just on like this bench, and she's like drinking, and she's drunk. And she's just like, why would they? It's almost like she's going into slips of like losing time because she's like almost like back to me because she's like, why would they kick me off? Those fuckers. Like, what? I didn't even do anything wrong. Like, she doesn't even recall like what had happened.
Exactly. She can tell that something is happening and she's not in control entirely. And then she is she's wishing death on them. And so then I really thought all of them were going to die.
Yeah.
They didn't. Or at least we don't know.
I was like,
she
getting drunk.
But but then like the kind of like almost agony in her voice made it sound like I wonder if she was saying like I wish all the spirits within me would die, kind of thing. I don't know if that's possible, but like I mean, you can tell.
I'm sure it could mean both.
Well, yeah, and not more so like that she knows that multiple spirits are within her, but more so that like she wants freedom, release from something, and it's not happening. I don't know. She sounds very desperate with the way that she's wishing death upon them, more so than just she wants out of something. I don't know.
But I feel that though. And so we have her going through this whole situation. I think it was raining. It was raining, wasn't it? Maybe I'm not. It was very dark though. It was nighttime. And so we have that happening. She was cursing them, like you said, and then we have the next day. We get to the next day, and they're all eating dinner, whatever it is, and then Nim shows up and she's trying to tell them like, hey, did I leave my bracelet here?
Yeah, my brown bracelet.
I'm looking for my bracelet. It was probably here when I came the other day and I got some stuff or brought you whatever. And so it's basically a ploy because we then have Noe going upstairs to look for it, and then Manit and Nim then try to go into Miss Mink's room. Just basically, she's like, grabs her hand and she's like, have you been seeing things? Have you been hearing people? Have you been feeling things that are weird? And Mink doesn't really respond.
Yeah, she's very unresponsive.
And so then that's when we have Noe coming back down and just kind of like being like, what are you talking to her? What are you doing? And then Nim's like, you know what? She's like, I've seen enough. And she's just, I mean, she doesn't say that, but I can tell she feels that. She's like, I've seen enough. And she's just like, you know what? I'm going anyways. It's fine. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, we definitely know that Nim knows that, like, no, this is something's up.
This is more.
Yeah. And because she already is just like, this is not
Bayan.
Yeah. Because at this point, it comes up. That's right. We have her leaving. And then we have her came to my notes. Hold on, jump. You go.
Okay.
Fill me in.
Next, basically, I put that I think we're getting Mink basically saying like, you know, she has headaches, stomach aches, back aches, everything is hurting.
Because they take her to Noe wants to take her to the doctor, right?
Well, and they do go to the doctor, and the doctors don't know what's wrong. And so basically they're interviewing her, and then they ask, you know, has there been anything that is unusual to you? And she says, like, in her dreams she sees this man in a red cloak, and he's standing there, and you know, he has this giant sword, and that there's a decapitated head on the floor, and the sword's covered in blood, and he like licks the blood from the sword. And she says she feels like the decapitated head has something they want to tell her, but they can't tell her, basically, which is like, that's hella descriptive. That's weird as fuck. You know, like, that's a pretty. It
really is a really vivid dream, and especially for her and her situation, like her
which that does come into play later too.
Yeah, and especially with her family's like proximity to like spirits and spirituality and all that stuff. Yeah, and so they're talking to her about that, and then
she's clearly just unwell. We're following her. They go back to her job, her workplace,
and you can tell visibly that she just doesn't look good.
Yeah, she's in the middle of helping.
And I can tell that she's got her. They're making her throughout the movie look more and more faint with the makeup as well. Yeah, I noticed.
Very pallid again.
Yeah, and we have her working, right, and that's whenever she starts freaking out.
Yeah, she gets up. I mean, she feels like she's like about to retch or something. Yeah. She's like gagging and like grasping at her stomach. Yeah, like she gets off and she's screaming and stuff, and again, clearly unwell, and she needs medical treatment or something. And then basically she gets back, and
because she tries to play it off like nothing happened. And it's like that everybody in the office was just like,
they were all remarkably calm for like all of this. They were just like, same shit, different day. Like, I mean, and when you have such a tie to spirituality, I suppose, like as a people in that region, then maybe it is kind of the same shit, different day. But she goes back in, and her boss comes out of the office, and he says, can I talk to you for a second? And I was like, oh, fuck, is she getting fired? And then, yup.
She's getting fired. This way the boss was just like, you can't film in here, but obviously the camera crew is like right there next to the door, so you just hear her being like, you can't fire me. What the fuck?
Fire me.
Yeah, this is
Who
bullshit.
the fuck do you think you are?
And so yeah, she like storms out, obviously, and she goes to her desk and like starts getting all her shit, put it in the bag. Yeah. So that was a scene.
It was, and then we go back to that little parade preparation area, and so now she's in that white dress again, and she's getting her makeup done, and the guy turns around and he says, just wait here, we needed to do your hair still, basically.
And he walks away and leaves her there,
and she happens? Just starts like picking at her tooth, and I was like, oh god, that's like totally something I've like done before, not to that extent, but I have an issue with picking my skin and also my lips and like my
where
teeth.
you bleed.
I'll floss and just like stab at my teeth until it feels like they're about to fall out, which is terrible. But so basically when she was like picking at her tooth like that, and then it just all of a sudden starts like covering like her teeth and it's blood is dripping from her mouth onto this white dress that she's in, and she's literally just like
making it worse and worse.
It looks like she's just like picking at her front canine and it's just like scratching it so much till the gum
where
is
your gum's
just
bleeding. Like
and it's kind of a gross scene.
And she's doing it for a while until the people who are doing like hair and makeup and stuff come back up and they're like, hey,
what are you doing? And then she comes to.
Yeah.
Which
for the first time is actually kind of like, for me at least, other than since we did the interview with her talking to them, because most of this movie, like Mink is not there. It's something else.
Yeah.
Like Mink is not there. It's kind of one of those moments where it's kind of like she seems like she's actually present in her body.
Yeah.
And she is like, oh, what the fuck? Like,
because like, I mean, absentmindedly, I do that a lot. Like most of the time, whenever I pick my scalp and stuff, I don't realize that I'm doing it until like my finger is covered in blood, and then I'm like, oh fuck.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
So she gets we're getting ready for this float in the parade and everything. Oh god,
me picking at my tooth.
You're literally gonna start bleeding right now.
I just started picking at my fake tooth. Which okay. So one time I was sitting in physics. Have I ever told you how I got a fake tooth?
Literally right now I was just like, I didn't even know you had a fake tooth. What?
Oh yeah, it's in the back of my mouth. I was sitting in physics taking a test. Yeah. And when I was in high school, and all of a sudden, I just start spitting up chunks of teeth. Yeah. Of a tooth. And so I was just like, yeah. And I walk up to my physics teacher and I was like, Miss, I said her full name because I fucking hate when people call me just Miss, but for privacy purposes. I walked up to her and
Miss Jane Smith.
Yeah. Miss Jane Doe.
Yeah, there it is.
My tooth is falling out, and she goes, okay, well, did you finish your exam? And I was like, no. So I went back, finished my exam, and I, of course, in the slowest test taker on the face of the planet, so I finished the bell rang, and then I had to go to the next class, and I was like, hey, mister, can I go call my mom? My tooth is falling out in chunks. And he was like, my dad's a dentist. I can tell you. And I was like, I don't give a fuck what your dad is. I need to call my mom. Yeah. I need to go to a dentist. Yeah. And he was like trying to give me things. And
the way I have so many
I had to give a root
dreams
canal.
Where because I think it's honestly one of my biggest fears where my teeth fall out. And
typically it means you have something you want to say that you're not saying is what it means in like dream way. Because I will spit out teeth a lot.
That's me all the time.
Or rip them out.
I always feel like I have some opinion to say that I keep to myself.
Or I'll like, there was one time where I was going around a house collecting lint and then, or like just like weird objects and putting them into my mouth, and then they turned back into teeth. But it was like cotton from like a couch cushion.
Okay, I don't know.
So weird.
Yeah, because I be having them dreams a lot, and they freak me the heck out.
Teeth are weird, and it is. But it was basically that dream in real life.
One time I had one where my teeth were falling out in my mouth, but my mouth was sealed like this. Oh god! And so my mouth, I could visibly feel my teeth falling and like jumbling in my mouth, and my mouth filling with blood, and I couldn't spit it out and I felt like I was going to explode because I had so much blood in my mouth.
Oh damn! You must really had to say something.
And then that.
And there are probably other meanings to it.
Yeah, no. Well, someone the other day, someone literally 2 days ago told me, oh, that means that someone's gonna die soon, and I'm like, well, people have been dropping like flies the past couple of years, so that makes sense.
Oh god. I don't like that option.
Oh no.
I'd rather.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. Let's not talk about
I just
that.
picked up my fake tooth though, like she did. But so she's like on this floating around, not floating around. She's standing there like a weird, like broken mechanical angel.
She's not really responding. Even when her family is like, Mink, and she's not paying attention to them.
And it's not like she's like far away from them either. It's like it's a parade route. They're standing right there.
If I was her family, I would be like, this bitch just straight up like on purpose ignored us.
Well, and her mom even went like, why is she not responding to us? Yeah. Like, I know she hears us. We're right here.
And so she then like grabs the candy or grabs whatever yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. She starts chunking something.
I think it was just decorations from the float, to be honest, because they weren't passing out candy.
No.
There's like these little chunks of balls of something, and she starts throwing them at the people in the crowd rather
aggressively. But then people are just kind of like, guess I was part of it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Nobody says anything.
They were just like, okay. But yeah, so then, I mean, clearly we get to see little snippets. It is very like harsh cuts because, well, it's a documentary. And then we awkwardly start following her into work. And I was like, ooh, it is awkward. Because then I was like, whoa, fuck, what if she doesn't like remember that she was fired?
Next day. Yeah.
And it was like
and so she does. She goes and she sits into the desk, and that's whenever they're like, what the hell are you doing here? And she gets kicked out. Because they had fired her the day before.
Yeah, and I was sitting there thinking at first, I was like, why are they being so aggressive? She was just fucking sick. And then
we get the film crew, which also this scene, this came out of there was a lot of ideas in this movie, I will give it that. And I feel like this one kind of came out of like, whoa, where'd that come from? Because it really caught me off guard, to be honest. But we have the film crew interviewing the boss, kind of trying to get to the root of like what, I guess, his story side of it.
Yeah, like why was he so aggressive towards her?
And then we see him like, well, we've had some things missing from the office here recently, and I took it upon myself to look into the recording cameras. Or the
CCTV footage.
Yeah, there you go. And we see Mink on
fucking a slew of men.
Literally, like it's at least 3 of them. Still, like she's.
And the first one, was he conscious?
I don't know. It
looked like she was just kind of
jumping up on him on the bench where we first saw her earlier falling asleep, or where they woke her up. But yeah, we have now I think like 4 men. I don't know.
Because then there's the one in the chair.
Tattoos, and then there's a big belly guy.
Yeah.
And Mink was getting it in the office. Quite
all over
kinkily.
It.
Yeah. It's the way when it first started happening, it was like, oh shit, she fucked in the office, damn. And then I'm like, oh shit, she fucked all over the office, because we have her on the desk, we have her on the chair, we have her on the bench. I'm sure
she's like knocking papers over, like titties sliding all over the desk. I was like, I mean,
very Gaga and Adam Driver.
Yeah.
In the House of Gucci.
Oh, yeah.
Father, son in the House of Gucci. But yeah. It was pretty funny. I was laughing. I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, bitch,
like,
you're
damn,
fired,
she did fucked up.
Bitch, that's too far." Literally,
it was. I mean, it was intense, and the way like it panned it on her just getting railed. With
I was
the last
also
man,
like,
I was like,
and I'm thinking too.
How long is this shot gonna last? I was starting to get a little uncomfortable.
Before he fired her, he jacked off to that in the
probably.
office.
Yeah,
I know it.
Because she was. I mean, she was looking pretty good, and
it was straight up porn.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, it was. It pretty much was, to be H.
It was porn.
We saw boobs. We saw all of the only thing, just
the
like
first one she was clothed,
but the other ones
in a skirt. But yeah, the other ones, I mean, it was.
But I mean, we also see her BooBaes, a little later on in the film as well.
That's true.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the way I'm like, oh crap, yeah, this, there's no pulling yourself out of that. I was like, she was whoring herself out. But yeah,
which like, and with the phone call before she passed out on the bench that first time, Lisa was like, "You fucking bitch! You left me to take some man home again," basically. And it's like,
now we know where they were going, because I guess she couldn't bring them back to her house. Mom's there.
Yeah, so she brings them to the office.
Yep. And so
obviously the next step. What
we have, and then after that we have, at least in my notes, because I'm sure I probably miss a little thing. We have her slitting her wrist. Her mom finds her in the.
No, that's where I put. Stuff went missing from the office. Jesus tried to take her own life as well.
Yeah, so we cut to maybe something happening to like intermittently change through scenes or whatever. But the main thing is we get her mom like, finding her in the shower, and she's slit her wrist. There's blood everywhere. They're freaking out, obviously, and so they get her to the hospital. She
Which Nim had said earlier that she tried to get rid of it by also taking her own life. And so she had slit her wrists as well to try and not be possessed by the spirit.
So it's like it was a callback when we didn't know that earlier. We were foreshadowing. Which I like when movies do that.
I do too. And basically then at this point, Noya's like, perform the like acceptance ceremony. Like I don't care. I want my daughter to be better. Yeah. And so I guess basically if you accept she took her to a spirit.
She took her to like a different shaman that's not Nim, right? Or a different thing.
Well, so at this point though, she's like asking Nim to perform it, and that's how you like gather if you accept the bayan basically, then the symptoms stop. The shaman fever stops. And then this is where Nim says, what's taken hold of Mink is not bayan. Yeah. She says, I will absolutely not perform this ceremony on her because it's not bayan. Yeah. And
so the Noi is like desperate as fuck. So she takes her to a different church place, whatever. And that's whatever the uncle was just like, are you sure you want to take her? The brother and so they take her, and it's that type of ceremony, but it was like some random ceremony, like not like specifically in tune to her and what she needed, and not for bayan. And so that's whenever she basically she's accepted whatever kind of spirit is coming to her, evil, which is what this one is, and not only just one, many, which we get to find out later. Yeah. And this scene was very like woo whenever she's there, and then Nim comes, right?
Yes.
And tries to stop it midway through, and then all of a sudden Mink starts attacking Noe with the camera.
I thought she killed her mom.
I thought she did at that point too.
I was like, oh fuck, Noe's dead. But she
beat the hell out of her with that camera. In any other movie where people get beat with the camera, they die.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of blood spatter on the camera and stuff. It looked like her face was smashed in.
Them hoes are heavy.
Before that too, Nim gets basically to Mink's house and finds that this is where we find out that Mac did not kill him or did not have a motorcycle accident. Mac was her brother.
Yeah,
right?
This is where we get this part. I'm like, oh shit. This is where I keep saying like this movie just keeps taking all these twists.
Yeah.
Like,
a lot of them.
So we find out because Nim is like, something's off here. And she's like, how did he really die? And we get to find out that he killed himself. He hung himself.
Completed suicide by hanging.
We also find out because she sees photos of Mink and the brother. I think his name was Mac. Sorry. The way I reversed that. Mac is they had incestual, not ancestral.
I said I did it backwards earlier. So
we have some sister brother fucking going on.
Yes. Yeah. And that like basically he loved her but couldn't be with her, so he decided to take his own life. And Nim says that the souls of those who
take their own lives.
Yes, of those who take their own lives become basically something else. And she's recommending that they need to do a cleansing, and she asked to be like directed to where he hung himself, and then is trying to do a cleansing there, and basically tells him, I know you love her, but you can't take her.
Yeah.
And also her fucking reflection when they take her in the car to that cleansing.
Right. I read that
had
on
to be
here.
one of the creepiest fucking things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because it was so subtle, I didn't notice it at first. And then I was like, oh, God. Like, because her face is just like deadpan, like looking not there.
Yeah. But the reflection is like smiling. It's very much that video of the cat. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's like a cat. It's like super like meme, like super like 2003. Like the footage is like pixelated, but like of a cat looking in the mirror, and then it turns away, but in the mirror the cat turns back around, but the cat has not turned back around. It's like spirit cat, and it's like, yeah.
Oh, I want to see that.
I'll find it and I'll show it. I'll send it to you.
I love it. But yeah, that was creepy as hell.
Yeah. So she had beat her mom. Everybody in the whatever is just like, what the fuck? They kind of back away from her. Yeah, brutal.
Unexpected,
it was brutal,
too.
and it was brutal. Like it was a beating.
I put fuck Mink killed her mom. I was like so sure of it, and then I was like, oh, okay, good, mom's not dead.
Yeah, she's not dead because and then Mink runs away at this point with Nim running after her to try to find her, but she gets away.
Straight up disappears.
I'm like, she's fast as fuck. Like she's track star.
I mean, she got long
She a
legs.
runner. And she's like powered by the spirits, right?
Yeah, a fuck ton of demons.
That's the power of Pine Saw, baby. And so yeah, we have that happening, and yeah, basically she runs off, and then we have not a montage, but like scenes, a whole another 10 minutes of them basically, literally 10 minutes of them trying to find her. A little search party happens. We get like other attempts of them trying to find her with like different friends, like being like, we've looked everywhere, we've looked all around town, all of her friends' homes, like we can't find her. We have scenes where they're kind of intermittently dealing with the police, and then we have a final scene going back to the police where he's like, it's been a month. The uncle, he's like, it's been a month, like where or is it the uncle, right? Or was it the mom? Was it Noe?
No,
someone's yelling that it's been a month.
It is him later on. At this point too, that they go to like basically Nim says the only way that we can find her is to
perform that ceremony.
Perform a ceremony where Noi opens her heart to Banya. And then they're going through and they're like finding these putrid smells from her room because of all the spirits she's come into contact with. And the things that they're pulling from her room.
Disgusting.
It's like,
used
so
condoms,
we see the baby shoes. Yeah, full
baby
condoms,
shoes.
Pads that were just completely like bloodied and just
They weren't small
random
pads.
knick-knacks.
It
No,
was like the super size pad.
yeah, it was
for
a
that.
maxi pad. The ones that they give you in the nurse's office that feel like you're wearing a diaper. It was that. And yeah, so then they go back, and at this point, they see that this is where they get that footage from the cab driver.
Oh yeah, that's right. The cab that picked her up at like 3 a.m. or something like that.
And oh wait, I'm sorry. This was before the month had even passed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. I think I jumped up a little bit. But yeah, all of this is happening.
But that was
moment.
weird with that ghost scene.
Yeah. I thought that
the
was
cab.
another added thing too. I was like, wait, what is this? Because then everybody saw it.
Then I thought I wondered if it was maybe that was the actual soul of Mink standing there and was kind of on the opposite side of the
like astral plane maybe, or like
like her body was detached from her soul.
I could see that.
Like almost as if her body was so full with other demons. Because at this point, we don't have any more Mink.
Yeah.
Mink does not come through. And so, yeah, I wondered if it was just like so full of demons that basically her soul was like, I have to be over here.
Yeah, it's too full in there.
Can't fit.
Yeah, I can see that. And it's the way that it looked very... it was translucent. It was translucent. So it looked like it was fading. Like she was losing her power, her lifeline. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, and then a month passes. Yeah. And Mana is sitting there like, being like no, fucking figure it out. It's been a month. Like y'all aren't trying.
We don't have any information. And
the last thing we've heard was from that cab driver.
And throughout all of this too, we were getting scenes because and the reason I guess I kind of jumped to is because it's jumping through like what the uncle's doing, what Nim is doing for her ceremony, because we have her cracking the eggs interweavingly throughout this, and we see her, she's been doing this, I don't know for how long. We see the candles have like, gotten smaller from being burned so much, and then finally
Nim actively prays for a month, which is insane. I was like, damn.
After that we have like the whole scene of that month later, like little timestamp for us, and then what the egg finally breaks and it's black because she's, like you said, pulled the evil, and so that kind of gives her an idea of where to find Mink.
And at this point, she says, this was done by ones who have nothing to do with Mac. She said, I've been misled this whole time. It had nothing to do with Mac. These are all ones that are not him. And then, so then I guess it randomly is like, go to this giant abandoned building. I don't know.
And so she's literally, so we go on her this little travels journey. She finds the old thread factory, and she finds Mink in there after is obviously going and noticing that it's shitty.
She was dead then.
She's in rubble. There's trash everywhere. She looks like she's dirty, been through it. She is malnourished. Yes. So she finds Mink. Then we have her back at the hospital. The doctor's obviously saying she's gonna pull through, but she's malnourished, and so she needs some time. And so
we'll have to evaluate her mental stability once she becomes conscious
normal
again.
Yeah. And so then after that we have Nim. She goes because she's gonna go pray or do something with Bayan.
She needs to pray and beg Bayan once more
for forgiveness or something. And so she goes, and it's the blood curdling screaming and crying because when she goes back to this statue that she's been praying, that's like the physical embodiment of Bayan. The head is broken off of the statue, and obviously for her it's a lot of disrespect. It's almost very sacred. She's literally gasping for air, crying.
The way that she was wailing, I thought Noi was up there or something murdered. Exactly.
It was very much. I was like,
a family member was dead.
Shit. I used to go to church and pray too, but I never prayed like that.
I guess it was a family member to her though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was supposedly in her body.
Yeah.
And as we find at the end, one of the very last things she ever says is, I don't know if it was ever, I never actually felt it. And so, I mean, but I guess that technically is like a family member to her. And I was like, fuck, what is this going to mean for
It's
them?
her life's work.
Like,
you know, it's her life's.
Bayan going to lose her mind. I didn't know. I was kind of like freaking out.
What's going to happen? Yeah. And so then we get this scene coming back to the house, I guess, after Mink has come home. And at
Mink
this point,
is now completely possessed.
She's full possessed. And also, we haven't been mentioning it intermittently throughout the mockumentary. We get these little black cards that give us like not timestamps, but kind of like chapters almost, and what's going on, and kind of letting us know what's happening. Yeah, exactly.
Or very
or like
Tarantino.
any other kind of documentary too. Like you get like a little like, we are doing this now, or this is this part of the movie or documentary. But
6 days out.
Yeah, exactly. And so then we have them being back at the house, and Nim is there to try to like expel this demon basically at this point out of spirits out of Mink. And we have this whole situation with her confronting her, and it's kind of like any other demon possession movie where you have the spirits and they're kind of like, you know,
guess who I am.
Guess who I am. I am Minnie. I'm whatever.
And
or
she says,
being blasphemous, like which I relate to, like whenever in possessed movie, exorcist movies, they're always like, I'm God, or I'm Jesus, or whatever, you know, or you know.
And then the vulgarity comes from like this part with everything very much reminded me of The Exorcist with the like lick it. Kind of thing.
And then her like also like what, and also too, what is it in every demon movie, exorcist movie, why do all the demons always know everybody's fucking tea? Like they're like they know your shit.
They've been sitting there watching.
They like start telling all of Noe's secrets. And like we then get to figure out that basically like Noe was supposed to get like the whatever, which we kind of knew, the Bayan, but she and her mother did everything in their power to make sure that like essentially that she didn't receive it and that it would go into
as much as wearing
like,
she would wear Nim's clothes, and then
yes,
would put talisman into Nim's like shoes and stuff to like make her more of a viable option, and I guess almost like confuse the spirit and make that go into her.
It's kind of fucked up.
They're
basically like
they all but forced
putting this
Nim's
responsibility
hand
onto someone else who didn't ask for it
when
it was really supposed to go to this person.
And so we get this very, like I said, vulgar scene where she rips her shirt off, makes her uncle like touch her boob, and then she rubs her hand on her vaginal area and makes him smell it. And then he basically and then
she
mounts
attacks
him,
lunges him. She's trying to jump on him, and she's saying like you like
young girls' pussies, and so it's just very like
vulgar.
Fuck.
Yeah, I was also at this one. I was like, well, I know I am not a Christian man, but like this is getting a little wild now. Let's. It's
so much reminded me of The Exorcist and the lick it scene, and just so like, oh my God, did that just happen? It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh fuck, like this is
even for me, like I'll be making jokes all the time, you know, but like, or even like when in The Exorcist when she like is with the crucifix, even for me, I'm kind of like, oh, that's a little like
that's a lot.
I might not agree with it, but like that's someone else's symbolism. Let's not, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And so I guess they put her finger into holy water to almost subdue her,
and it's the way she starts inking. Like, all this black
it's
stuff
like
comes out.
oozing out of her, and then the glass shatters. Like it basically, the glass can no longer contain the evil that was coming out of her. Yeah. And then she vomits up black stuff, and so at this point, I was like, oh, okay, great, she's done. But she wasn't. And Nim at this point is like, no, she needs help, and she needs someone. I need another person's help. Yeah. In order to be able to do this, because this is beyond me, basically, at this point.
And so they meet up with her other shaman friend, and basically they're he's just kind of like, oh shit, this is fucking serious. Okay.
And because like we see that he was doing a bunch of stuff. It reminded me of like 10 evangelicals,
yes, when they have like those little things, and then like people are like falling all over the floor,
but they've already like collected all your information, and they're like, we know, and they basically like, you submitted a prayer. There was one film or something, and they like, you submit basically your prayer request, and then they use it in order to make you feel like, oh, like God knew that, kind of thing. And so
it's very manipulative.
Yes, but anyways, kind of like that. But then he's also he's like, I got to pay the bill somehow.
Yeah.
But clearly he's actually well versed in the actual spiritual
because
ways.
he's kind of respected, obviously, but it's the way she was like, you're still with these like crazy people, and he's like, yeah, like I gotta
These
make
clowns.
these clowns, I gotta make, and like he said, I gotta pay the bills. And so we have them basically talking about how they're gonna do the ceremony, but it's some days out, because then we start getting intervals of like the little title cards coming up where it's like 5 days, 2 days, 3, or starting from 5, I think, right? Or is it 6? 6 days from ceremony, and then it cuts down. And we get to see, basically, they are observing her. They put cameras up in the house to watch her at night and to see what she's doing. And she be doing some crazy stuff. And
She does.
She's messing up everything in the house and like turning tables and like flipping things on the floor and stuff. And then we have,
and when before all that happens, this is where we also find out that he says her body is basically like a car with a key left in it, and so it's just like a running vehicle for spirit.
and so
and then this is where we also find out that multiple vindictive spirits have joined in her body to basically form just this like super demon within her.
It's like Legion.
And this is where he asks, what were Wiroj is Wiroj was her father's name, Noi's husband. He said, what was his ancestral line? And basically we find out that his ancestor beheaded many people, and then those people who were beheaded then cursed the family line, and so that's where all the beheading comes into play,
and the man holding the sword and all that stuff that she saw earlier in her dreams,
and how those people with the heads wanted to like say something, and I feel like he basically knowingly married Noi, and Mink was having to pay the price, and it was all destined, is what they said.
And so she's full demon mode.
All of these shots at night were fucking creepy.
Yeah, very creepy. Because they make her look very creepy. She's popping out of places that you don't see her at first.
And it's just very like, oh god, like when she sits there and is just peeing on the table.
Yeah, she's
again
pissing on the
very
table.
Exorcist, and all those little scenes.
And because also like it's night vision, so you see like her eyes just glowing, and it's just very creepy.
And eating the raw meat.
Yeah.
Crawling on her mom, and this is all
Hovering
happening
over
like
her.
some of the footage is just like day 5 and
Casting spells on people's stomachs.
Yeah. Making I wasn't sure if she made her like miscarry, like if she was pregnant again,
Oh, maybe.
or if she just made her sick.
Gave
I
her
don't
the
know.
bubble
It
guts.
was weird.
I don't know.
And I was wondering if it was her, because after she eats that raw meat, she like runs upstairs real fast, comes back down with like panties in her mouth, and I was wondering if it was Pong is the
baby,
and
I don't remember her
the
name.
mom's name is Pank.
Oh, okay.
And so I was wondering if it was Pang's underwear that she brought down. I don't know, but it was very. Ugh.
And so we have them after a lot of things going on over the nights, and we have like couple days have passed. We have them locking her in her room now with the little lock on it. Because
this is like 2 days before the ceremony.
And then after that, we have more kind of montages of what's happening in the house while she at night, and then we have the scene that made you sick, right? She throughout this whole movie, the Noi has a dog. It's a little cute, little fluffy. I don't even know what kind of dog it is, but it's a dog.
Yeah, named Lucky, I think.
Yeah, and
not so lucky.
Not so lucky because, we then see Manit coming into the house.
Because he's watching the footage live, and he was like, or wait,
no, that's not yet.
Yeah.
It's he just comes into the
That
house
was with his baby.
Yeah, he comes into the house and he sees the pot on the floor, and he's like, what the hell is this? And he then picks up the dog's head, and he's like, oh fuck. And she basically cut the dog into pieces, and it was in a pot.
Well,
but
I think before she cut it into pieces, she just boiled it alive.
That's true. Yeah.
She just puts the
because we have them reviewing the footage. And then that's whenever we see, like, she literally got the dog and put it into a boiling pot of water.
It was very much still alive and stuff. And
it looked very real.
It sounded very real, and I think that is what started
Triggered
making me feel so sick. Because you basically watch. You can't see the dog, but you can see the pot moving and stuff. But you hear this dog's screams,
yelping, wailing,
as it is literally
dying.
Being boiled alive. And then the just scene of her pulling the
pieces out and
chunks of it
eating
off
it.
with the fur.
Yeah.
I just put, I'm literally about to puke. What the hell?
I laughed, but also I just have a sadistic sense of humor.
It was just insane.
And it was very real looking.
And then earlier in the film too, there was a small moment where Noi was like, well, we eat dog meat here all the time. And they were like, you have other pets, but you still eat, like people own chicken and fish and stuff, but they still eat them.
Yeah.
And so
why is it so bad to eat a dog?
Yeah. And then now it's coming, they were like, but what if it was your pet? And then she was like, well, not, and then now it's come back full circle and
biting her in
her
the
pet
ass, basically.
did get eaten.
And so, we then after that is we have,
we see her going into the fucking baby crib, and I was like, I swear to God, if she boils this baby alive, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind.
And that's whenever Manit is watching it live, because they were just watching what was happening with the dog, and then like they're seeing that she's going into the room with the baby, and he bolts because he's like, fuck. And so he's yelling after his wife. He's yelling for the baby's name, and they get to the bedroom, and obviously the baby's missing. It was stolen. And so he's obviously freaking out.
During all this, I was just sitting with my hand.
Me too. I was like,
covering my
this
mouth,
is a lot.
And I was just like, oh my God, for like 5 minutes, going like, no, fucking no.
And so, because I mean, at that point too, the stakes are pretty like, if she killed a dog, she'd kill anything at this point.
Yeah, and sitting there eating it, I was like, she would 1000% eat this kid, which
I'd eat a baby.
I mean, she does. Later on, there's a scene where she eats the baby. Please don't eat babies.
No, I know. That was like problematic statement. JK, I was just kidding. But yeah, we have all of that happening. And so then we have them basically looking for Pong, and they do end up finding him outside,
alive.
and he's in the grassy area, just basically outside, and he's crying, and they find him.
I was about to
everything's
fucking
okay.
cry. I was like, because whenever the dad, Manit, says like, Pong, like Pong isn't, his head, you just see his head and he's not moving. So I was like,
oh fuck, he's dead.
Like Pong's dead. Like this is dark as hell. And I was
pretty dark.
I mean, after like feeling kind of nauseous and stuff too, like this movie was making very visceral reactions come out of me.
And then after all of this, we then cut, I guess, to the next day, or I don't know. It's
basically, I mean, Manit gets attacked by
what's her face,
Mink,
and the fields. Yes.
But
and then we have them pulling her off, and nobody dies at this point. But then we go to the next day, and it's whenever we have Noi going into Nim's house, I guess, at that point, because she's looking for her.
She's like, where the fuck is Nim? Shit is getting out of control.
And they
we need her.
Go to Nim's house, and she walks in, and there's like maggots all over the floor, which is not a great
altar
scene.
had been destroyed too.
Yeah.
And it's covered in maggots.
And then we find Nim dead.
I swear to God, if she's dead, and then I was like, fucking hell, she's dead.
Literally, I was like, how the fuck is Nim gonna die?
Yeah.
And so literally Nim is dead at this point, and it's not even. I think I looked at it. There was still like 40 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah,
and she
exactly.
Was dead.
I was like, how is she dead? How is she dead already?
Yeah, and so she's dead.
She just died in her sleep, and it's called Lai Tai, is what basically the Isan people call dying in your sleep, and I don't know. And the doctors couldn't conclude the cause of death. They just were like, I don't really know. She just is dead, which is wild.
And so we have all of that happening. They do a ceremony for her funeral, right? Is that what it is? Does it have like a little procession kind of thing, procession? And then we have Noi basically being like, I don't have anybody. Like, wow.
Everyone's dead because of me. No one's left. And she says, and I'm willing to die to protect my daughter because she is all that I have left.
Yeah.
And they decide to proceed with the ceremony as planned.
Basically. And they start performing it. And at this point, there's just a lot going on.
And at this point, I thought, okay, so he basically is saying, I need to summon all of the evil spirits into her body. And I thought it was Mink.
Yeah.
I thought it was Mink.
I thought it was Mink too.
Because then, they put
this
little...
So we should explain that he has this lady, because we think it's Mink. He has a body with the sheet over its head.
Yeah, it's got like a shroud that has little spells written on it. It kind of reminded me of the autopsy of Jane Doe with her body, the spells being on the inside.
And we then have them starting the ceremony, doing the ceremony, everything's happening. And then whenever he finally rips off the shroud that's on her head, we see that it's Noi. And at the same time, at this, we also figure out that I guess that Mink was really at home, locked in her room, because she's being babysat or watched by the sister-in-law, Pang, and by one of the I think it was one of the cameramen, to be honest.
Well, there's a cameraman there, and then I think this guy was just like in with
I felt like I thought he was a part of the film crew.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I thought he was
like with the other guys,
because he was in the white too. So I was like, I thought he was part of the ritual, but I don't know.
And so
also at this point, so I was confused there because you hear Mink screaming from her room, but at this point you hadn't seen Noi's face yet. And so I was like, how the fuck is Mink screaming from her room? And then it flashes back to Noi and you just see blood, like all of her orifices were leaking blood. There's blood. The mask starts filling up with blood on the like eyes, nose, mouth area, but then also on the ears. And then you see obviously a bunch of vaginal blood as well. And then she fucking pukes a shit ton of vomit. And then I was like, oh wait, that was fucking Noi.
Yeah. Because they take it off. She is puking into this like a fishbowl, essentially, is what it looks like. And then
they're having to collect all the spirits.
Yeah.
She's purging them. And no one, he said at the beginning, he was like, absolutely no one can leave during this ceremony. And of course, Mink is not supposed to be let out of that
her
room.
Yeah.
Because
and everything that's not supposed to happen ends up happening.
And they've gone through like, I mean, there was like at least 20 talismans surrounding her door. And when we get in the room, all that white string that was supposed to be binding them and stuff and connecting the spirits and stuff together, the amount of white string, her room looked like a spider web.
Yeah.
It was just covered in it. And it was, I mean, they really went
Well, I mean, they're trying to get rid of all the evil. Yeah. And so, we have all of that shit happening. We have... basically she gets free from the fucking room, or not free yet, because then the door gets open, and then the sister-in-law is like looking in there, like trying to be like Mink,
because she heard Pong crying. That's right, from
she
the
hears
room.
Pong crying, and
so
I'm thinking like that's obviously not Pong.
Yeah, but she looks in the crib and she is being manipulated so much to the fact that she doesn't see Pong in the crib.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, we cannot open that door. We've not been told to open the door. But like she hears Pong crying. And then before that, she had heard Mink being like, it's me, Auntie, like it's me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And let me out. And then Pong is crying in there. And so she's losing her mind. Obviously, she's like a mom going into pure mom mode. Like, get me my fucking child. And then, we see that Pong is still in the cage.
Yeah.
What is it? Crib?
Crib.
It's not a cage.
It's not a cage. And she gets in there, she opens the door, and then that's when we see Mink on the floor, and she kind of turns around and we realize like, oh shit, the baby noise is coming out of her mouth.
Out of her. I put, oh, fuck that.
And so then she gets up and she stabs Pang in the neck with a shard of glass that she broke off the mirror, or it's not a shard of mirror. And at this point, the master guy has already been taken a hold of by other spirits because they done fucked up by opening that door. He stopped their ritual and like carries the pot. They were so close to being done too. Yeah. It felt like it was like the final stages, but they opened that door and they did exactly what they weren't supposed to do. Yeah.
And so he's going to take the pot. He stops the ritual and then he gets
like possessed. Good acting too, because like he started acting pretty maniacal and crazy and stuff. And then the people start dying. I'm like, oh, okay, so we have
this is where it starts getting very found footage film.
Yeah, we have everybody running around everywhere. The shaman like does that little falls into the pit or whatever.
Yeah, and it wasn't a long fall. But the way that his body looked but when they pan in on it later, his legs looked like they were like jelly that just got it looked like he had such a massive fall that it almost like pulverized him.
Supernatural.
Yeah, exactly. It had to have been.
And so we
it was
have
just insane.
All that shit happening, and then we have basically everyone getting some sort of form of possessed from the spirits that were unleashed, basically, because everybody starts going crazy.
Because they all those people in the white and stuff had the string tied to their heads.
Yeah.
So it was basically connecting them and helping them summon these demons, as many as it was. They needed all that power, basically.
Yeah.
And so all these people are fucking possessed now. And it makes sense with it could have been any sort of spirit. And so I felt like a lot of them were probably like ravenous animals, the way that they were walking.
And because he said earlier they were vengeful spirits.
Yeah. And ripping from their throats and stuff, like, and how they talked about, it could be a soul of a centipede or a house or something. And so all of these spirits have just unleashed. And it was insane.
Yeah. And so basically everyone is some sort of possessed right now. And if you're not possessed, mostly I guess it's just the camera crew. It's the camera crew who's getting fucking eaten. Well, not eaten, but like attacked, bitten.
I mean, their throats are getting ripped out.
Yeah, they're getting attacked.
One homeboy's like entire intestines are like just.
Yeah, even the uncle Manit bit a guy at one point. And so yeah, we have all that shit happening. It's just like really like crazy. We
Shit
then
has
have
hit the fan.
Meek then making her way to where everyone else at, where the ritual was happening.
And she's got like the army of the little like
the people behind her, and they're all like walking into the camera and stuff. And then we have
Noi at this point has done a phenomenal job with her acting again.
actress,
and she like comes with the blood on her face and she's just like, haha, and then like puts the incense in backwards. And then that basically, God, when that guy starts running headfirst into the wall,
yeah,
it was fucking gross.
it
Like,
was very visual.
yeah, it was. Fuck just got so twisted.
And then we have all this shit happening. It's pretty chaotic, to be honest. And then we have
and you're just flipping back and forth.
Mink then coming to like in front of her mom face to face, and that's whenever the mom's like, "Is it you, Mink? I know it's you, Mink." And then Mink just starts strangling the fuck out of her, until I thought at this point she was gonna kill her, but nope, she's just once again just like strangled, kind of unconscious, kind of not. She's there, kind of rolling around, and so yeah, we have all that happening. And then, well, I mean, eventually we have then Mink setting fire. She grabs fire and makes flame and then sets ablaze to the whole place. Because we don't, I mean, that's what we understand. We don't really get a shot of it all being on fire. We just get like a reflection of the flames and the amber glow.
And there was like there was a sort of almost, I don't want to call it like a voodoo doll, but there was a doll there with a bunch of pins pushed into the front of it. And so, I mean, that ending scene kind of gave me like Midsummer vibes too, with that burning.
Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, it shows you that basically destruction is happening, but it's not right there. And then the last scene that we get is
the last
final interview, in which we mentioned it earlier, where she said, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bayan has ever actually possessed me. Yeah.
And she's
like, I don't know anything.
Pans to off camera and she's just crying.
Yep.
And it's very sad.
It is. And that's how it ends. So, how many boos?
That was the medium. I would give it it's going to get a 3 for me. 3. Yeah. 3. The only thing for me working against, it kind of takes a few actually in talking about it, when I was first watching it and on the way here, I was like, I think I might give it a 2.
Oh.
But talking about it, I can appreciate it more. I think the only thing is just like very long and a slow burn.
Yeah.
And I felt like also, I guess there was never any resolution. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay, that's it. But that also gives very documentary though, like, because it's not necessarily a film where it's like there's a beginning, a middle, and end, and this is how it wrapped up, and everybody's good now. But like, no, like Mink's still out there, probably possessed. Yeah. But I give it a 3. It was, I liked it.
I think for those exact reasons is why I want to give it
a 5.
A 5.
Yeah.
Honestly, I loved it. I think this is probably one of the best possession films I've seen in a long time. The way that the acting was phenomenal. It was so unsettling to me in a lot of like moments where it was just like, damn, that's creepy as fuck. And I feel like if I were to watch like a real possession take place, this is what it would be like. And I think that's, again, why I like found footage so much, too, is that it all seems very raw.
More real for you.
And it feels very real. And again, I've not, like, felt physically ill, other than, like, maybe, like, while I was eating something and my food kind of resembled that.
The way I laughed.
It made me sick. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think also a lot of the times too, like when I saw Midsummer, the entire like crowd was laughing, and I think a lot of it is because like people just laugh when they can't.
It's a coping mechanism. It's like when you can't make something like understand something, or when something is more scary, you kind of laugh about it.
Yeah,
like,
or just like this is
make light of a situation.
Yeah, you can't comprehend it because it's just like that is fucking dark. This was a very twisted film. There was a lot of things in it where I was like, this is fuck. Like they went there. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I also do enjoy it. Was a little long, like for my time. Today was just not.
I don't want to knock it
great
because
time for me to watch it.
Yeah,
but
because of the length, I guess too. But
I mean, there is something to be said about a nice, like, easy to digest film. And this was not. You had to be paying attention.
Yeah.
You have to read subtitles.
I think that was a lot too. You have to be like super focused.
Yes, because if you I mean, while it is a bunch of just long shots of seemingly almost nothing, there's so many little
Because there's so much
things.
dialogue.
Yes, there's a lot of dialogue. And then there's a lot of things that if you're not paying attention, you miss one little thing. You miss something that has a major
That equates a lot.
scene down the line. Yeah. And again, I really appreciate movies that have a lot of forethought like that. And then I do like a slow burn. And then even then, though, it wasn't really like, I guess the first hour was kind of more that documentary feel, but stuff was still going on. And like you said, by the time Nim's dead, there's like 40 minutes left.
Still like 40 minutes left
in the film.
Yeah.
And so all of that other possession shit had already happened. And so, I mean, the majority of this film was pretty active right up until literally the last minute.
Literally.
And
Up until the
so-
last interview with him. Even before that, it was like...
Yeah. It's just a bunch of shit happening. And it's very disorienting. There's a lot of back and forth. And so... I don't know.
The one thing that I did like about, or that I will say, like, it's better than other found footage movies because, we've talked about it. I'm not a fan of, like, the unsteady cam.
And you didn't really get that till the end.
And
it's always
and even
much worse with night vision, too.
And
there was only a snippet.
Well, even, too, like, the movie wasn't a steady cam. Like, the whole time, there was, like, you can tell this is, like, someone holding a camera like this. But it wasn't, like... A lot of the other ones are like...
Where they're running and you're seeing the ground and shit. Like, they're not paying attention to the camera. This was still... They were trying to make
Things were in
a
frame.
film.
Yes.
Exactly. Which, again, I mean...
Which also, too, a lot of other found footage movies, I feel like, too, are usually, like, end of the world kind of movies are, like, big, like, something's happening. So, of course, people are, like...
running.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, taking a Deborah Logan, this very similar... like storylines almost, and the way that it's shot, the way that Taking Deborah Logan didn't really have a resolution either.
It's true.
And more so, I mean, we just knew that
a lot of those movies,
spirit
Blair
was
Witch
still out
didn't have
there.
one either. Yeah.
Exactly. I like ones that don't necessarily give me a nice clean finish. I mean, I do like last week's. I liked that it was wrapped up with a nice little happy bow, but I also do really enjoy the ones where I'm like, well, fuck, what is it? Like, what is going on? We don't know. And I like being left in the dark a little bit.
That's the great thing that we always talk about with horror, too. Like, there's just so many different avenues, roads. There's so many different types of ways that a story can be told.
Yes. And then things that people like. And it's totally okay that we don't agree. I mean, we agree, but also...
Yeah. No,
like, you have things that you like, and I have things
you have
that
your
I
preferences.
like.
You have your kinks, and I have my kinks.
That's right.
And here at Customizable Kinks...
CustomizableKinks.com.
Here at Customizable Kinks, we will come up with a kink for you. Yeah. So...
But anyways, that is 2021.
The Medium.
Shudder exclusive.
Yeah, and
The Medium. And this
concludes our Shudder month.
Month of Shudder.
Month of Shudder.
Next week, we'll be covering a Hulu film.
It's
so excited.
Oh, yeah. Should we tell them?
Yes. Yeah. So they can
obviously.
watch it.
It's called Fresh.
I have not seen it. I've been told by like at least 6 different people that I need to watch this film / that it needs to be covered on here.
It is good.
So I finally was like, hey, Josh, how do you feel about doing this movie?
Oh,
and he was like, I love it. And I was like, okay, I haven't seen it, so don't say anything.
Oh, God. You know what? And I was going to say something right now, but you know what? Nope.
I haven't seen it.
Nope.
I haven't even, I just have seen the cast list, but I've not read anything.
And I will tell you, and I will implore anyone who would watch this before and is like going blind. Because honestly, I went in blind.
The only thing that I think I know of at all is I feel like there's some aspect of cannibalism, but also don't confirm nor deny. That is the only thing.
I don't think I can confirm or deny that. I think
okay.
I can see how someone could say that though. But yeah, no, I just don't read anything else about it, and I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah,
I've not. So I'm very excited to watch it. So that's what we'll be covering next week. If you want to
watch it with us. Yeah. And
exactly.
Once again, we're in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios. We are always here recording for you lovely folk, and they take really good care of us. We enjoy it so much. You can find our, you can listen to us on a lot of different
podcasting platforms.
There we go.
The 2 biggest ones being
Apple Podcasts
and Spotify.
Spoofy.
And you can also find us on
RogueMediaNetwork.com.
That's right. And then you can listen to any of their other shows on there and those platforms as well. But wherever you do, please don't forget to
rate, like, review, and subscribe.
That's right. Tell your friends, tell everyone, word of mouth. That's
tell your
the only
dogs.
way. Tell your dogs.
Before they
just
get
don't
cooked.
eat them. And that's the only way we can get ahead.
Yes.
And so, please do so. And then if you want to let us know your thoughts on this movie and or Fresh, please reach out to us on Instagram.
Slide in those DMs.
That's right.
Send us some comments.
And our handle is
at BooBaes Podcast, all one word, and that is BOOBAES. The way I have to squint every time because I have to focus on how I'm spelling that. Because we're your BooBaes and not your BooBabes.
That's right.
With the B. No
That's
double
right.
B's in there, just Bay. And we're super excited to be covering Fresh. We were super excited to do this month theme of Shudder. We'll probably revisit it again sometime soon.
There were so many other ones that
literally, that's
as I was
like,
panning through today, I was like, fuck, Grave
that
Encounters is so good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I haven't seen Grave Encounters 2, but I know that I had told like Cassie to go watch Grave. Oh, speaking of which, so we had our band banquet and they have these paper plate awards, which they give the seniors. Mm-hmm. And it's basically just kind of like a funny award. Mm-hmm. And she got most likely to think that she's the main character in a horror film.
That's cute.
And then there's a picture of Ghostface drawn on there, and my other student who drew it did a phenomenal job. I'll show you a picture.
Yeah.
But I thought that was such a fun, fitting
shout out to Kesley
thing for her. But yeah, so until next time.
Bye, Baes.
Bye, Baes.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.